We are going to deliver a basket set to a hostess that's going to have a party. And we are in my Scentsy Mobile. And this car is totally being paid with my Scentsy checks. I like delivering the product because I like to see my customer's face when they see the products. They're just always so amazed by how better the warmers look in person. I work for Nestle Purina. I still do. I still work full-time, and I do Scentsy full-time. It seems like it's nice because I don't have to do it, where with Purina I have to, there's so many things I have to do. That was the one thing that kind of drew me to Scentsy, was with Purina I have a number to make. I'm responsible for millions and millions and millions of dollars of business, and at the end of the year I have to make that number. And if I don't, it's not going to be a very good year. With Scentsy it's different. It doesn't feel like work because I love it so much. My husband, when I first started, I kind of brought it home and talked about it, and he was like, oh yeah, whatever. But he started seeing all this stuff show up, and I'd have stuff everywhere, and he'd say, get rid of all this clutter. You've got your Scentsy stuff everywhere, And I'd say, well, I'm getting ready, or I have a party, I have to deliver that, And he would just start taking all my stuff and put it aside to one room, and he'd tell me, I hate this.
When she first started selling Scentsy, I hated it. And she just talked about it, and I thought it was a waste of time.
But he totally just transformed because he wanted a surround sound system for this new TV he bought. And I told him, we were looking at it, I said, how much is it? He said, $400. And I said, I could buy that with my Scentsy check. And he's like, you can? I said, yeah. And I said, when it comes, I'll buy it for you. So when I finally got it, I got my check, let's go get the surround sound system. We
went to Best Buy, and a few minutes later we walked out with a surround sound system. And I was like, go Scentsy. And it just took off.
He started helping me load my car up for the shows. He started coming to the shows and giving input like, oh, you guys should put that warmer on that corner. I remember on Mother's Day, I wrapped up everything that I had and I took it to his job, and all his friends just swarmed around buying stuff for their wives and for their mothers. And he kind of just sat back looking at me like, how dare you come and waste all my time like this, And
now I'm picking out my favorite scents to take to work.
No, he's stealing them. He's stealing all my scents and takes them to work. And I go in his office, and he's got my catalog on a stand, and he's got the bars out on the table, and he's got a plug-in, and before where he just wasn't involved whatsoever.
And all the guys at work tease me and call me Scentsy this and Scentsy that, but tell the guys at work that one day you're going to see me come in and turn in my company car, and I'm going to deliver candles, and they think I'm joking. I mean, one day I think I'm going to do that.
I think one thing that makes Scentsy different is that Orville and Heidi are real people, and you see them a lot. It's not like, oh, they're the CEO and you never see them. It's like Steve kind of mentioned that he had several conversations with Orville on the cruise, and I really think that surprised him because he didn't expect that to happen. You just don't ever expect that you hear him at maybe a convention, or you see him in the catalogs, but you just don't ever think that you're gonna talk to them, let alone have a relationship with them.
I've been with my company 13 years, and if you're a salesman of the year, you would get a plaque. And I've probably been salesman of the year 9 out of the 13 years. And my wife has been with Scentsy for 3 years and has been on more trips than I can imagine. And there's more trips in the future. And I look forward to these trips every single day.
When I go to my parties, I go with all my product and everything, and I kind of walk in, and I'm like, oh, where do you want me to set up? And let's get this, scent going. Which one do you like? I usually let the hostess pick, the scent they like, and they'll say, oh, I really like that one. And I'll say, okay, let's just put a bunch of bars in and get it smelling so strong that when people come up the sidewalk, they're like, oh, I can smell Scentsy,
Authentic Scentsy warmers are bloodless.
And then I talk about the Scentsy story, which just talks about how Scentsy started, and it has the word Scentsy in it a lot. And so I'll have a bag with something in it, and they won't know what it is, and every time you say Scentsy, they have to pass it around. Whoever ends up with it gets the prize.
Awesome! That's awesome!
I used to be a big person of clutter, and when Scentsy would show up at my house through UPS or FedEx or whoever, I would grab it and take it in the room and put it up. And now I'm like, I don't care, display it everywhere. I mean, when somebody walks in this house, I want them to know what you do. I mean, because I am proud of you. and I want them to know what my wife does.
I always say, you know, there's two things in life that are free, and that's time and friendship. And it seems like people have a hard time giving one or the other, and I always try to give both. You know, I always try to make sure that I have the time to listen and I have the time to help, because it means so much to a person to have someone listen to you, to truly listen to you, and to be able to give you feedback, and to be able to be there for you, and to be able to help you, and I try to do that.